everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I am going to give you a introductory session on Python. Whether you are a complete beginner who has never written a single line of code in Python or someone who is not from a CS background, you are in a correct place if you want to know how actually this coding world, software and Python works. Now, when people hear the word programming, they often picturize the scene that it is a confusion code floating across a black screen like it's a movie. It's not. Trust me. Today is my goal to teach you how and show you how Python is easy and understandable for anyone coming from any background. In this session, we aren't just going to look at a code, we are going to take a step back and look at the bigger picture. We will talk about what Python actually is at its core, when it came from industry, a very surprising history behind its name, and why it has completely taken over the modern tech landscape. We will also demonstrate before you that it's a higher level language, how it is very easy for people to understand and very easy for human to interact. So grab your coffee or a tea short to learn with me Python today. Moving to my next slide, what is Python? Let's learn with the absolute basic. What actually is Python? If you look it up, a textbook will tell you that Python is an interpreted, high-level, general-purpose programming language. But what does it actually mean in everyday English if we speak? That's too complicated. Let's break it down. Think of a program language as a bridge. Computers are incredibly powerful. So when computer and human mind are getting mixed up, it is creating a massive programming language that just don't understand human concept, but also it reflects how a human coder should work. A programming language is simply a structured way for us as human to give instruction to that computer. Among all the language out here like C++, Java, JavaScript, Python stand one of the massively reason because it is very readable and easy to use. Let's use an analogy. Imagine you want to teach someone how to bake a chocolate cake. If you want the recipe in a highly complex, tough language, in short, or very complex English, will it be okay to make them understand? Will they easily understand what you're saying? No, right? So, same with it. Python is the simplest English language with a person coding can understand and help the others to work. Like when I say the baker that step 1, mix the flour, step 2, add the sugar. It is very easy to understand. Same goes with Python. This is exactly what Python does. For example, if you want to print a message on the screen in Python, the command is legit very easy. It's like print hello world. But if I see it in Java or C++, oh my god, such an headache. So the exact same simple tasks require writing 4 or 5 lines or a boilerplate in Java or C. Python strips away all the unnecessary noise, allowing you to just focus on the problem and the way it can be solved easily. Moving to the next slide, defining Python, like from where it came. To truly understand a language, it helps to know its history. And when it comes from Python, didn't just appear out of nowhere. It is created the late 1980s by a Dutch programmer named Van Rossum at a research university in Netherlands. It was officially released in public 1991. Now, what did he actually build in Python? At that time, he was working on a language called ABC. He liked many aspects of ABC, but he felt it had limitation and wasn't flexible enough for general purpose programming. During a Christmas break in 1989, when his office was closed and he was looking for a fun hobby programming project to keep himself up, he decided to write an interpreter for a new scripting language. Yes, you heard that right. One of the most powerful tools in modern history. started as a hobby project to cure a programmer's winter holiday boredom. He was a great philosopher. He was into writing simple code, much more easy code. He wanted to make a language that was incredibly easy to read, clear to understand, and most importantly, fun to use. Like Python, no coding language still now have been made in the history that is easy to write and fun to code. Which brings us to the common misconception, the name. When most people hear Python, they immediately picturize a giant snake. Hold on. Many Python tools even use snakes logos, but the language absolutely has nothing to do with that. When the inventor of this code was developing the language, he was also reading the published script that Python Flying Circus, a famous highly British comedy show in 1970s. So he got the name slightly from there because he thought it is very mysterious because he was fan of that show and he wanted something related to that in his project where his passion and his interest are combined. So he named it Python without thinking much. He even encouraged early users to keep their code examples light-hearted and humorous as a nod of comedy drop. Now moving to the next slide, the history, which I have already discussed with you. He is the person who have made all this stuff. Van Horatham, I just told you the story, what he did and all. The name from where it is origin is, you can see that there was a show from here where he got very idea of like, let's put my passion and my work together. He was a big fan of this show, by the way. It was in early 1970s. Now, let me explain what is a high level language because many of us from a non-technical background would be very lack of information that what is a high level language. Now let's tackle one of those fancy computer programming term, high level language. Let's begin. We will hear this term many times. What does level actually mean in programming? Does that mean a ladder to climb? No, absolutely not. We have two type of language, high level and low level. This is a raw language of the computer hardware. Computer runs on microchips and transistors. At their core, they only understand binary code, billions of ones and zeros, flowing at a lightning speed, just like how the thunderstorm hit me. Now imagine trying to write a software program like Instagram or Spotify by manually typing out billions of ones and zeros. That would be so impractical and tough to handle. So, slightly above binary, we have assembly language, which use very basic cryptic. It is still incredible, difficult, and error prone. Now let's jump to the very top of the ladder because we were walking on a ladder, right? So this is a high level language like Python Live. High means it is highly abstracted and far away from the raw cold metal of computers. Instead, it is much closer to human language. It uses words we understand like if, else, while, print, and import. But this begins up a logical question. If the computer only speaks binary ones and zeros and Python speaks human readable word, then how can they communicate among each other? It is not possible, right? But let's get deep into it. This is where our built-in translator come in. Python is an interpreted language, which means it uses a helper program called as interpretate. When you write a Python code and hit run, the interpreter instantly read your code line and translate into binary machine code that a computer's CPU actually understand and execute it on the fly. Because Python handles all this complex translation, memory management, and hardware communication automatically behind the scene, you are, as the programmer, don't have to worry. It will do it on your own, just like the way you can simply think of a logic, and that's how Python works. As I told you, there are two type of language, high level language and low level language. High level language are those language which have words like if else print, and low level language are like binary or assembly code. Now, if I tell you why high level actually matters, because it is the kind of language a user can frequently interact. It is very portable. It can be used in Windows, Mac OS, Linux. Also, developer are 100% freely can use it without paying anything. Also, it is very easy to understand for the developer. That's why it is so famous. Now, I also want to say that moving to the last slide, why it is so famous. If you look at a global programming index today, Python is constantly ranked as one of the most popular, if not the most. It is not one of the most popular, it is one of the most used language right now in the market. What makes it so special that millions of developers from students to scientists choose it? One of the highest reason is high level language, but still I'm going to explain you a bit about it. First, as we discussed, is simple syntax. Syntax is just a fancy word for rule of language. Python has a very easy rule that we are just using curly brackets, semicolons that are way too complex. So Python was thought they will remove all this stuff. At the end of every line, a semicolon, it's tough to use. So it uses simple indentation, tabs or spaces to organize code blocks. This makes the code look clean and elegant like a well-formatted documents. Second, Python is a platform independent. This means write once, run anywhere. Whenever you are working on Windows laptops, MacBooks, uh, or Linux server, your Python code will run exactly the same way without needing to be rewritten. This is incredibly important in professional environment where team members use different kind of computers. Third and perhaps most important, Python have massive libraries. Like from coming from high level language, then having a massive library is the success Python have. Also, Python have not included a feature called import. It already import every details from the backend before you start coding. So it is one of the most important things Python does. For any other language like C, Java, we have to import like from this file, from that file. But in case of Python, we barely import. We don't need to import everything. It tries to get fit in because it had the backend which usually import the data which we need. Locally speaking about the use of Python, real world use if I get into it, so the answer is almost anything. Python we can call a general purpose language, meaning it is not restricted to just one specific type of software. Let's explore the three most common domain. First, it is very useful in data science, artificial intelligence, and machine language. I'll be speaking widely. If you hear about modern AI breakthrough like ChatGPT, self-driving car, or image recognition model, Python is almost certainly the engine driving them behind the scenes. Libraries like Pandas allow analysts to clean and understand massive Excel sheets of data in seconds. Meanwhile, libraries like TensorFlow and PyTorch are the global industry standard used by researchers to train advanced neural networks. Second I'm moving is web development. Web development, while language like HTML, CSS handle what a website look like on your screen, Python is incredibly popular for building the backend, the invisible brain of the website that runs on the server. Framework like Django and Flask make it incredibly fast and secure to build complex web application, handle user logins, and connect to database. Third is automation and scripting. We have mainly looked into the 3 points. This is my absolute favorite category for a beginners. You don't need to build a massive app to get value out of Python. You can write small 10-line script to automate your boring, repetitive daily tasks. For example, let me tell you it in a very funny way. Imagine you have a folder with 500 messy files, unorganized photos. You want to rename all them based on the data they have taken and organize them in a neat folder because it's easy to find. I know if you're a student, you would say, I don't need to recognize. I don't need to organize them. I can recognize from wherever they are left. No, but it's better do that. Doing that manual would take you hours for mind-numbing clicking. While Python, you can write a tiny script that does the entire job perfectly in less than 3 seconds. You can use it to skip data from website, automate emails, or organize files. Python is essential, a superpower for production. So, I would allow you guys to have a question and answer with me. If you guys have any questions, just I would wrap up and give you a short, small summary that how Python works in real life projects or in industries to give you an idea of just how dependent we are on Python. We don't have to look far. Some of the largest, most successful companies in human history rely heavily on Python to run their daily operations. Let's look at the big three example. We know the term Google, right? We all know. So Google has a massive supporter of Python since its very early days. In fact, Google Engineer, you can see I have written Google for better understanding. It has very large engineering team which mainly focus on Python, where we can easily use C++. They use Python as their core search engine algorithm. This cloud computing program add a massive portion of their internal system administration looks. Now we'll speak on another famous streaming platform we all know, and just writing this, I think everyone can understand. So I'm writing net, and you guess the word Flix, Netflix. Oh, sorry, I'm not so pro in writing in laptop, but I hope you guys will adjust. So Netflix. We have wondered how Netflix actually works. When you open the app late night, it's still recommending you. The highly sophisticated recommendation algorithms, which analyze your viewing history and compare it to million to other users, are built and run using Python data. Since library has been introduced, Netflix also use their libraries to monitor and make plans how to make it smooth the video streams without buffering. Now, one of the most famous apps used by every teenagers, every young people is Spotify. Spotify right now is one of the biggest streaming platform in history, which streams more than millions of songs from different states or different areas. Also continental, international. Python also used in Spotify. You are getting the point. Google, Netflix, Spotify, all of this use Python because it helps to discover weekly personalized playlists. Python speed up the development allows Spotify engineer to rapidly test new features and roll them out of millions of users. So when we learn Python, we aren't just learning a student language or a toy. We are learning a heavy duty industrial strength language that powers the global digital economy. The exact same basic you learn on day are the foundation of the system that are need to be built. So I'll just do a cover up, erasing all this stuff. So I have just noted few points that will help us to remember all the stuff we have spoke about. So first is high. So from high we get the idea of high level language. First, you have learned Python is a interpreted high-level language. This means it is designed to highly readable and easy for humans to understand, while a built-in translator inside that do the complex job of turning human language into machine language. Secondly, we will speak about who have invented it. It was invented by Van Rossum as a hobby project, and the name Python was came from the biggest show that was Monty Python comedy troupe because we wanted to do coding a fun game. Now we will speak about syntax. There is a quick wrap up we are doing. Syntax, it is a very simple syntax, platform independence, and massive ecosystem of libraries has made it most popular language in the world. Now talking about AI. AI is one of the biggest topic right now in the world. So we can also combine Python and AI to make a massive big experiments, which is ongoing in today's world. We can work on different web pages like Google, Netflix, Spotify, big tech companies work in the language Python. So I don't think I need to say you more. Why do we actually need Python? This is what I wrap up for you guys. In the next video, I'll tell you how to use Python and how we can feature Python in different topic, how to make a project using Python, coding, making you guys fun while having it, important questions and different topics, which I really think is very helpful, will be very helpful for your college questions because colleges are very tough. Thank you.